We're joined now by meteorologist Justin Ballard from the Houston Chronicle, who also got an extra hour of sleep this weekend.
I'm feeling relieved.
Yeah,
feeling well rested.
And you've been looking at some fascinating studies where researchers have looked at the weather's impact on Election Day turnout.
I mean, we all know that weather impacts all facets of life, right? But this study done in 2017 at Dartmouth University actually showed that rain does tend to, probably not shockingly, decrease the voter turnout.
And we know all about rain around here, right?
Yes.
It's a big deal. So how exactly did rainfall impact the voting turnout?
So for each inch above kind of the normal day-to-day rainfall, so whatever the daily rainfall average is, for each inch above that, it decreases regional especially by 1%.
Wow, so the heavier the rain,
amount,
the more you're going to see voter turnout get suppressed.
Exactly.
And we can understand that here if roadways get flooded out and you can't really get to your polling location.
There's some obvious logistical issues that come about with heavy rain, so that totally makes sense.
Now, that was on Election Day. What happens if you factor in that there is, say, early voting or widespread mail-in ballot that's available?
I'm so glad you asked, because that actually has a little bit less of an impact on voter turnout. So obviously with early voting, if you start 2-3 weeks before Election Day, then people, hopefully the idea is to have those folks that have voted not out on the roadways on Election Day when the weather may be not so ideal. So it actually decreases the voter turnout, I think only about 0.2%.
Okay,
so
have that option
much
available.
lower. Yeah.
See, in our family, we like to go on Election Day, make a big deal out of it, take our kids along with us so they can kind of get in that habit of, this is an important part of our democracy.
Now, do you ever go out before if the weather's looking a little sus?
Usually not. Usually we'll just try to wait till Election Day, so we're still waiting on tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so what if it's a hotly contested election, there's some hot button issue on there? Does the weather seem to impact it at that point? Hotly
contested issues, as well as presidential elections, tend to be less impacted by, the detriment of rain or snow. Not that we get snow on Election Day here in Houston, but rain at least.
It's going to be 87 degrees tomorrow. Yeah. All right, so now that's an important point, though, is the temperature. I was a little bit interested to find out the results on this one. A little surprised, too.
Warmer temperatures actually increase voter turnout.
Yeah.
I would kind of think it would be similar to rain. I would think warmer temperatures, less turnout, but no, it actually increases turnout. 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, you see a 1% increase in voter turnout.
That's fascinating. So we should have among the highest turnout in the country right here in Southeast Texas tomorrow.
And I feel like I have to say, weather shouldn't impact whether or not you vote. Let's just make that note here.
Yes, right. That's okay, but there is an important distinction to make, though, when we're talking about like a national election, like a big presidential year. We never have a weather system impacting the entire country, right? Correct. So these are more regional type differences.
Right. These are really felt at the regional level, especially. So the local elections that we have tomorrow may not necessarily be impacted by rain, but if this were happening on a day where rain is in the forecast, that's when you'd likely see those changes the most.
Well, let's get to that hour-by-hour forecast right now, shall we? So as we look ahead to Election Day tomorrow, we're not expecting any rain here in Southeast Texas, but we are expecting those warm temperatures that should get the turnout up, right?
That's right, 85.
85 at 3 o'clock. If you like the lower temperatures, head there, 7 a.m. Get to the polls.
A little breezy, too, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Justin Ballard, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.